Hey Ralph, Thomas from HeyUGuys. How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks, Thomas. Nice to meet you.
Must say, I read that I think in the past 10 days you've had like three movies out. Please tell me you've got some time off booked.
Well, they're mostly from 2019, and they've obviously been held back like the Green Knight has over the pandemic. So they're all kind of coming out in this glut, which is kind of fun as well.
I must say, congrats, on the movie and the performance. I was talking to David, and I mentioned to him how kind of weird and wonderful it is. For yourself, for something like this, it's unpredictable. What were your first thoughts on the screenplay?
Well, I knew some of David's work before, and I knew the world, as it were. I'd kind of grown up being interested in all the Arthurian legend and stuff. I knew something of the poem itself, and yeah, I was immediately into it. It was a wonderful script that just felt weird and trippy and not too explanatory. It was wonderful and open. And yeah.
How did David sell the vision of what he was trying to map out?
He really didn't need to be honest. It was just a bit like all he had to vaguely reassure me on was that I wasn't wearing a mask. And even if he'd asked me to do it in a mask and just use my voice, I'd have done that anyway, because I'm a big fan of his, and I knew that he'd do great things with it. But he was keen to stress that it was very much a performance that he wanted, and the prosthetic had been designed to allow me to perform within that. So yeah, but I think right from the start, I was very keen to work with him, and we both had a very similar idea about who the guy was, in the world.
Yeah, and obviously, you undergone, quite a transformation. What was that experience like? And as an actor, was it, reassuring to have, I suppose, practical effects for a change rather than digital?
Yeah, I mean, there's, to be frank, there's no possible way of doing it practically without it being uncomfortable and hard work. It just is.
Yeah.
If you accept the job like that, you've got to grit your teeth and accept that that's going to be the case. But you've also, I find, in any of these situations as an actor, when you're pushing yourself physically or it's hard, there's nearly always something else that comes out of that as well. And the way I had to move, the armor was quite ornate, and the costume and the cloak and everything. So it was as if I could move freely with it, all very heavy. The headpiece itself was asymmetrical, so it was heavier on one side than the other. So you can come in to use your strength to keep your neck straight. So the whole thing made me move very slowly and deliberately, which at first made me feel quite vulnerable until I started to think about it on screen. And thinking about it with sound design and how powerful that slow movement would look.
Yeah.
So you think, actually, I'm going to embrace the fact that I can't move quickly and actually move slower and more deliberately. And you just finding that, and the fact that all my senses were shut off because my ears were closed over with the latex. I had contact lenses in my eyes, which blurs the vision. Couldn't really eat, so you couldn't really taste. So the main sense was smell. And when you're walking into the Green Chapel, that's right, the street sounds such a Ponzi actor. But I discovered my character through smell. we walked into this forest full of flowering wild garlic just outside the studios in Ardmore in Ireland. And you just hit by it, and walking into the Green Chapel, this magical kind of place of earth, which was where this guy lived and everything, and all I could get was this beautiful smell, sweet smell of wild garlic. And it really did just kind of make me feel like some kind of superhuman creature of the earth. It was brilliant.
Was it a case that, you only felt you embodied the character, once you were in full makeup and wardrobe?
Yeah, I think so. And not really I don't think you could, because so much of the experience, the physical experience of playing the character is to do with that. Without it on, you can't sit there. You can learn your lines. You can you can run them, you can imagine the scenes, you can do that kind of thing, but you can't really get into character anyway until you're, on the back of a horse in a suit of armor with all that latex on. It's a whole different world that you're dealing with, but it puts you in a different space as well. Because the way other people react to you is quite powerful when you're in all that kind of stuff, because it's so beautifully crafted and so real looking, even though it's obviously some fantastic beast. But people react in a really weird way to you as well. And that's fascinating. So as soon as you've got it on, the way people suddenly react to you when you walk from makeup to your caravan in full armor with all that stuff on, people just kind of really give you a very wide berth in a sort of way. And it really adds to this thing. So by the time you are on set, you feel like the most terrifying, intimidating.
By Dev Patel, was kind of relieved. He didn't have to put on any makeup or anything like that. He could just walk onto set, not have an issue walking and stuff. What was it like working with Dev? He's such a great actor.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is that in some ways you're kind of glad you're wearing that much latex and prosthetics if you're sharing a screen with Dev Patel, because he's so beautiful. He's just got such a wonderful, wonderful face, such beautiful eyes, and just a wonderful specimen to look at, as well as an incredible actor. Really just wonderfully intense, and the way he unravels the character with so little dialogue over the whole film is it's fantastic. I think it's a brilliant performance, and it was really lovely to share it with him, because virtually all my stuff is with him.
Well, I've got to say, for yourself, your eyes are so expressive in this. Obviously, you're under all that latex, like you said. How challenging, was that to try and convey, that extra bit of emotion just from your eyes sometimes? Yeah,
I mean, I think that it's exactly the same as you would always do, and thankfully the lenses and everything weren't a barrier to that. It seemed to come through, but it was the fact that there was so much very thin latex and clear latex, which gave me the opportunity to use so much areas of my cheekbones and all around my eye socket to express myself, and that you could hopefully bring the creature to life a bit more, and so he wasn't behind a mask as much.
Did you manage to persuade David to let you maybe take the Green Knight's axe or any part of the armor?
I've actually got the Barry Gower, the prosthetics team, sent me one of the mock-ups of the head, so I've got him mounted on a thing. I've got the Green Knight's head, which is very cool.
That's kind of scary. I can imagine like Halloween, kids come to the door and you walk up, have a head in your hand and stuff.
Well, it'd be even scarier than that, because Barry Gower also did a head cast of my daughter as a dead body for Robert Eggers' film The Northmen, and she's got that, so she's actually got her real dead face in her bedroom. Yeah, I've just got me in makeup. She's got her real thing, so that's the creepier one in our house.
It's just stuff of nightmares. And just one final question for you, Ralph. You were talking about the Northmen there. You're working again with Roger. What can you tell us about that project, and what was it like, teaming up with him again?
It was wonderful to link up with him. I mean, Kate Dickie and myself and Annie Taylor-Joy in a much bigger part are all back with him, with Rob on, and Jaron, the DOP, and Craig, the designer, Linda, the costume designer. We all kind of started on Rob's journey together on The Witch, which was wonderful. They went off and did The Lighthouse, and now a lot of us have come back for The Northmen, joined by all sorts of fantastic people: Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, and Willem Dafoe. It's a big old revenge epic, Viking 10th century Viking revenge epic, and I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. I've seen little kind of assemblies of small sequences, and they're just absolutely stunning, really.
Well, Ralph, that's all I've got time for. Thanks so much. Best luck with the movie's release.
Thank you much. Cheers, man. Nice to speak.
Bye, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys! Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey